and welcome to the Q&A for Five Figure Foundation. I've been talking a lot this week, and as you can hear, my voice is a little raspy. We're here for it. And I also want to talk to you about all the reasons why this program is so freaking awesome, despite my voice being out. So bear with me if I have to take a few sips of water throughout this Q&A. I plan on going all the way until 3, if not a little bit later, because I started a little late. So feel free to stick on, ask any questions that you have in the comments, and I will answer them live. Or if you want to ask them afterwards, you can reply to me personally, or you can go ahead and send me an email at meganwingcoaching@gmail.com. So let's talk about it. Five Figure Foundation, people. It is my 12-month program, and within that program, you are going to learn how to make a profitable offer. You are going to go ahead and learn how to market and put your social media out there every week without stressing about chasing the algorithm or doing, funny, but not super creative little trending reels. You don't need to do that as a professional. We don't need to be influencers. You actually can create really strong professional content without having to do like a TikTok dance. So those are the kind of things that we do within Five Figure Foundation. You also learn how to go through and not send weird spammy DMs. Have you gotten those like, hey girl, want to learn more about this? Or if you've gotten any of the reels or any of the messages that are like, join me now, get 10,000 followers for free right now. You're not going to send DMs like that. You don't want to be a weirdo. We're not going to send DMs like that in Five Figure Foundation. And then last but not least, you learn how to do ethical sales calls that help guide people to the right decision, which might not always be you, but I help you guide people to a really strong and powerful decision that gets them saying, hey, I want to sign up next week, not, oh, I need to think about it, or I want to talk with my husband, because you guys are awesome, and we don't want to have that being a part of your business. So here's the things that we do, and I want to talk to you about just some common questions that I've gotten with Five Figure Foundation. So I've gotten a lot of people have asked me, hey, is this a good fit for me based on where my business is at? And there are people who Five Figure Foundation I wouldn't recommend necessarily to. If you have a brick and mortar business, I wouldn't recommend Five Figure Foundation. I don't think this necessarily talks about that kind of marketing. I have amazing friends who teach local marketing that I can refer you to. But for me, this is more about online marketing. And if you don't have an online presence, nor if you don't want one, then this probably isn't the program for you. However, if you are an online-based, service-based business, this is the perfect program for you. And I know that my program is called the Solopreneur Academy. So I have people come in and say, hey, like I've got VAs, I've got people. Is this still a good program for me? And I think that you can train your VAs from what you learn in Five Figure Foundation. So if it's not just you, if you have other employees, this program will still help you, because most likely, even if you have a social media manager, they might have just been trained to get you followers and views, not actually train you to get sales. So that's what we do in Five Figure Foundation, is I actually teach you how to get sales from social media instead of just chasing trends. And the other thing that we do within Five Figure Foundation, who it's not for, is for people who are just a huge fan of consuming content, but not actually doing things. And I think that you might be in this place because you might be having a thought error or a mindset error where you feel a lot safer consuming content, listening to endless podcasts, buying a bunch of courses. And if that is you, I understand that getting out there, actually putting content out on social media, talking to real humans can sound really uncomfortable. And it is uncomfortable. That's why in this program, it's traditionally 12 months, but for the next 72 hours, you're going to be able to get Five Figure Foundation for 15 months. And the reason why I made that so long is a lot of times people feel really uncomfortable getting visible. I genuinely, as we know, human brains, and if you don't know human brains, let me tell you a little bit about human psychology, is we have evolved past the point of physical dangers for the most part, if you're watching this video. And if that is not the case for you, your brain has now adapted to view emotional danger like failure, rejection, and abandonment with the same level of intensity as physical dangers. So for you, getting on and doing an Instagram live actually might feel like a tiger is about to kill you, and you don't want that. Your brain is like, avoid this at all costs. So what we end up doing is we avoid it. We avoid that discomfort of getting visible, about getting ourselves out there. And that's fine if you don't want to run a business that makes money. But if you do want to make money with your business, especially online, you do need to get out there. You need to talk to people. And we bolster your confidence to do that in a really safe, scaffolded way. So you don't feel like I'm just throwing you in a pit of lions. I'm actually just building on what you feel comfortable with and getting you out there slowly, safely, so you don't have a panic attack, but you also are actually getting visible so that more people can work with you. So for instance, if you have never ever posted before, we might start you with posting once a week instead of posting 3 times a week, which is where you'll be by the time you finish in foundation. However, if you're at a place in your business where you are posting consistently and it's just not working, 5-figure foundation is also for you, because a lot of times people are posting and they're not getting sales. And if you're doing that, it can feel like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall, and it can be so insanely frustrating. And I want to take all that frustration away from you. I want to go ahead and show you that there really are ways that you can post and the ways that you can get clients right now using social media, and it doesn't have to take forever. And I see my clients jumping in here. I love it. Also, you'll get to join in. Kalisha, Shelly, I have some of the best clients in the world, and you're going to get a chance to meet all these awesome humans when you join 5-figure foundation. And another thing that I get questioned about is, if I have a group offer, can I still join 5-figure foundation? And Shelly has a group offer. There are lots of people who have different offers that are also not all coaches, and I'll address that in a second. But you don't necessarily have to be a coach to join this program. You can have a one-to-many offer, and a lot of times you're just missing the foundational basics. And that's what we do in 5-figure foundation. You go through and learn business fundamentals. So for you guys, instead of having to throw spaghetti at the wall, build a plane as you fly it, you learn a proven strategy that actually works. These are things that I've done for myself to grow my business to 6 figures in my first year full time. These are things that I'm seeing across the board for my clients. Literally yesterday, we had a person get a client. I signed a client in the morning. Another person had a consult, and another person is mid-launch. And all these people are getting results because they know the fundamentals of business. That's why it's called 5-figure foundation. If you don't have a strong foundation for your business, it makes it a lot harder to scale. It makes it a lot harder to grow. And there's already, like I mentioned, the emotional difficulties, the exposure that you feel when you're getting out there and getting visible can already feel uncomfortable enough. Let's take all the strategy and stuff out of the way. Let's take out all those mindset issues that you have about what do I do? When do I post? Who do I reach out to? Who do I talk to? And instead of doing all that jazz, let's just get you focusing on building the confidence, getting your, regulating your nervous system enough to actually build the tolerance to have exposure therapy. Get out there, talk to awesome people, and sign more clients this month. Because for you, I know that there are some of you that are like me, but sometimes we kind of lose track of the calendar, and every week can kind of just go by where you're like, okay, yeah, things are going fine. We're moving through. But for you guys, we're already in March. We are almost at the end of the first quarter for all of 2026. And if you want to make the most of this year, you need support. And that's exactly what you get within 5-figure foundation. Now, when we're talking about who it's for and who it's not for, I've had a lot of people ask me, do I have to be a life coach? And that's a valid question, because a lot of people that are in 5-figure foundation, I think there's, as of this morning, because people are signing up, I think we're at 59 people that are in 5-figure foundation right now. So of those 59 people, a lot of them are life coaches. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a life coach. That's how I built my business and then started business coaching. So there are a lot of life coaches in there. And we are going to be talking about the mindset aspect of things. However, there are also a lot of other credentialed professionals that are also within this program. We have dietitians, we have nutritionists, I've worked with graphic designers, I've worked with website creators, I've worked with assistants, I've worked with functional medicine practitioners, sleep trainers. There's a ton of different people that are in Five Figure Foundation. So just because you're not a coach doesn't mean that this isn't a good program for you. Ask me, let me know, and I'll tell you. I'll be very honest with you. I've told people before, I don't have anyone that does what you do, but I still think I can help you in these 4 ways. Let me know if it's a good fit. But I will be honest with you. I'll tell you, I'm like, this is a good fit. This is not a good fit. Okay. So that is a little bit about it. The other question I get is, do I have to have a niche before joining? And for me, I actually find that A, a ton of people are generalists, and B, I find out that people niche really soon. And if you don't know what niching is, it just means like choosing a very specific subset of people to support. And I actually niched too soon, and I had to completely burn down my business and rebuild it. So those of you that don't know, I used to be an elementary school teacher. When I first started my coaching business, I coached kids for free right after we got out of school for the pandemic. And I coached 6 of my students to grow at least 6 reading levels within 6 weeks. And it was pretty impressive. The results were great. And I thought I was going to be a coach for kids. So I started with primary color branding. I went all in on, I'm going to coach kids. And I realized that I didn't actually want to coach children. I looked at it and I brought in 17 consults of children. And I realized that when I was on the calls, I signed 3 kids to start for like a month or 2. And it wasn't what I was passionate about necessarily. I also at that same time started talking about coaching, and people that were my age started reaching out to me and saying, hey, is life coaching what happened to you 2 years ago? Because you kind of got your shit together and you were kind of a mess before, and now you've got it together. I want whatever you did back in that day. And that's exactly what and so I ended up signing a lot of adults, having to unniche my marketing to be a generalist, and it actually worked out so much better. I ended up having a client that was 7 years old and a client that was 71 years old. I had men, I had women, I had people of all different ethnicities, all different goals. Some were working on relationships, others were building businesses, other people were moving across the country, other people were just trying to get a promotion. And so I ended up working with all of them. And then I found that I was really passionate about helping people with their contribution in life. I really like talking about people through their strategy for their careers. Because you guys also don't know this about me. I went through a lot of relationship struggles. And that's actually how I got started coaching myself. And that's actually one of the things that people knew about me is I went through this breakup after 8 years. And within that, people were thinking I was going to go down the line of relationship coaching, but it wasn't my favorite. So I think that if you don't have a niche and you are a generalist, I actually think this is a perfect program for you, because it can be really hard for generalists sometimes to explain what they do in a way that helps people. And as a generalist, I made 120K. So I know what makes, in 1 year, I made 15K the year before, 47 both those years part-time. In 2020, I started in August 31st of 2020. I made 15K in those 3 months. Then in 2021, I was still teaching full-time until June, and I made 47K that year. In 2022, that's the year I made 120K. And I was also going through that breakup during that time. But that was my first year full-time, and I was able to make 120K as a generalist. Then I pivoted to business coaching in 2023. So you do not need to have your niche figured out. In fact, I think this is a very important thing. If you don't want a niche and you're like, I just love talking about everything, I help you talk about what you do in a way that people actually see a return on their investment. So I know a lot of times when people are thinking about investing in programs, or investing in you as a service provider, they need to see that you're going to save them time, money, and energy before they buy. Because who wants to sit on a call for an hour for like 6 months? That costs them time and money. Nobody wants to pay to do that. You need to talk about the intangible benefits of working with you. Those are the things that you'll do. That's the first thing you do in 5-Figure Foundation is I help you make your offer, and you'll get your offer by the end of March. You're actually going to have a solid offer. We're going to talk about your timeline, your price point, how to deliver your offer in a way that gets people results. So you get renewals, referrals, and testimonials. And then that actually creates this awesome influx of people. Yes, even as a generalist. I actually think it's really important that you join 5-Figure Foundation if you're a generalist, because then I talk about your ROI really quickly. You get a really strong offer, and then you get people, instead of just being like, oh, I'm a life coach, like, great. It's like, I work with people for 6 months, great. Or it's like, hey, I help people manage their time, create more confidence, and find their direction in life. Way more compelling, right? So you want to create a stance like that within your business. Like I mentioned, I've got a hoarse voice, so I'm going to be taking sips of my Noom tablet, my little electrolyte, caffeinated electrolytes as we go. Okay. If you're starting with a small audience or almost no followers, for the love of everything good and pure, get in before March ends. If you do not have a lot of people following you, you need visibility. And yes, that does require you to get out of your shell, and we're going to scaffold it in a way that doesn't make you feel like you're naked on stage, okay? But when you're joining and starting with a very small audience, you got to find people. If you only have friends and family that are following you, you have to find other people that could be a good fit for you. Yes, your friends and family might convert like mine did, but then if you want to continue to grow and build your business, you need more humans. You cannot just stay in the bubble of your current people, even though it feels safe and cushy and comfy. You have to talk to new humans. For me, the reason why I'm doing this thing called, and if you haven't heard about it, I'm doing a Q1 Visibility Accelerator right now. It is 31 days where my clients are getting a different way to get visible every single week, including virtual and online and in-person networking events, doing Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook live collaborations, and doing a service demo where you actually get to present your service live with another member of Foundation or the 6-Figure Scaling Mastermind. I'm doing a cross-promotion, a cross-program challenge for you guys. But within this, you are actually going to get the things that get you more followers, that get you talking to more people. You guys have heard me say endlessly that if you don't send DMs, you're going to be blocked from the algorithm because the algorithm has literally marked you as a bot. So you know you need to be sending more DMs, and I teach you how to do it in a non-sleazy way. Thank goodness. And you do not need to be a creeper. We don't love that. Nobody wants to be a creeper. You are a professional. We don't need to do that. So you're going to learn how to send DMs in a way that doesn't feel salesy or sleazy. And within the program, when you're thinking about DMing people, you might be like, literally, I have my aunt and my cousin following me. Why on earth? Who am I going to send these DMs to? New people. We got to get new people in your audience. And that's what we do with this Q1 Visibility Accelerator. And this is only happening until the end of March. And then anyone who participates during the week, you are going to get a one-on-one, the winner gets a VIP call with me. So a lot of good incentives to join right now. And you really do want to if you have a small audience or almost no followers, this really has never been a time to join. Never been a better time to join. I'm not even talking complete sentences, but you know what I mean, right? Okay, work-life balance. Let's talk about this. This is a really fun one because one of the things that I did when I was building my business is I was working so much. I was trying to throw spaghetti at the wall, feeling like I was building the plane as I flew it. And when I was thinking about my business and growing my business, I literally was going through and feeling so exhausted every single week because I was getting no traction. And if I did get people coming in, I had no idea why. So if you're like, my friend, I don't have a lot of time. I've been trying that throwing spaghetti at the wall and it's really not working for me. I'm not loving this. I just want somebody to give me a strategy that works. If you want to think about how long it takes, I recommend that you create relationships with people. And in Five Figure Foundation, it's under managing leads or the DM strategy. And I call the process that I teach within there the relationships to revenue routine. And what I do is I teach you how to reach out to people in a way that's not freaking weird, what to say, and how to move them from a conversation to an actual consult. And those are the things that so many people are not actually doing right now. So what you need to do is, if you're thinking about those components, I am going to teach you how to do that. And I recommend that you talk to people as much as possible. If you can daily, if not, we'll make a plan that fits around your life. For instance, one of my clients, Michelle, she's come onto the podcast 3 times. She's got 4 kids. She's homeschooling these kids. And she also runs another business full time. So she really has limited hours. And she was only able to do the messaging and posting Monday through Wednesday because she runs the other business Thursday through Sunday. So for you guys, if you have very limited time, I will work this around your schedule. We will make it work. And Michelle had 2 years without a consult. And she is now, since we started working together, had a consult monthly since she started. So not so bad. These things actually work. And how much time do you need? I recommend, in the tiny pockets of time that you have, if you are working full time, there are so many full-time workers. Like Kristen is a full-time 4th grade teacher. Maybe she's a 5th grade teacher, but a full-time teacher. So a lot of them are working full-time. You are not alone. And I teach you how to use those weird little pockets in the day. Like maybe it's a little bit of time on your lunch break. Maybe it's in the carpool line, whatever it is. And that's when we do those reach outs. Then the other thing that is going to be a critical part of your weekly routine that we're going to put as a part of your CEO schedule is you're going to also get marketing out every week. But instead of doing your marketing every single day, coming up with something on the fly, which either will leave you being inconsistent or inefficient, we want to actually have you batching out your content. So instead of you thinking about, okay, it's nap time, I have 10 seconds to think about, okay, what am I going to post? And then trying to come up with a graphic, something cute, something catchy that leaves your audience feeling more confused than clear about what you do. We have you batch it out in a very specific and strategic way to build know, like, and trust, getting people to know you, like you, and trust you. It's 3 posts a week and you batch them out so you don't have to worry about it at all during the week. You batch it and schedule it and you're done, which is great. So I would say if you are thinking about that, in the morning and evening, reaching out to people, you can do 30 minutes and 30, or we'll fit it in wherever we can. But my goal is that you're talking to around 50 people a week, so you bring in more humans. And then I was like, no, it's even less, 25 people a week. Very doable, right? And then my goal is that you get out 3 posts a week. In order for you to do that, I would say it takes around 6 to 7 hours total. But if you've got less time than that, we can fit it into the weird pockets, and I've got you. And I suggest, can someone build their business part-time while working or raising kids? Yes. Join Kristen, join Michelle. There are so many people who are working full-time, also raising kids. I think both of them are moms of 4. Emily is a mom of 4. Kira is a mom of 4. And I think all 4, actually, she was a mom of 4 when she first joined the program. Then she got pregnant, has a newborn at home, is taking her maternity leave with her beautiful baby girl, and now she's actually about to go and come back from maternity leave so much stronger. She made 4 times her revenue last year. In all the years that she had in business, she made 4 times that in last year alone, just because of the things that I taught her, and she made her money back in 48 hours. Which actually brings me to 2 other points about my maternity leave and my maternity leave and the money back bonus. Oh my gosh, and Kalisha, I'm going to share your story too about the, and Kalisha, I know you have 2 kids. That's so good to know. Okay, I'm going to share your story in a second, if that's okay with you. And we definitely need to get you on the podcast at some point so everyone can meet you. But within maternity leave, let me address that really quick first. There is, if you join 5-Figure Foundation right now, I am not launching this program again until December. So I want to be fully transparent with you guys. Like, this is not like a sales tactic, like, get in now, because I don't love that. It's not my vibe. But like, for you guys, if you are in this round, if you are watching this live, now I'll share this with you guys later. Of course, you can join at any time. 5-Figure Foundation is open year long. But if you join right now, you are going to get my extra 3 months because I'm going on maternity leave. I was trying to think about, okay, what would be like such an over deliver for everybody while I'm on maternity leave. And as you guys can see, little Eve is due in June. And also I know a lot of you guys take time off during the summer anyways, but during those 3 months, June, July, and August, I am not shutting down the program. You are still going to get access while I'm on maternity leave. And the other thing, oh, Lindsay, it's so good to see you. You're going to go through, and during the time that you are actually going to have during my maternity leave, you're still going to get access to all the modules. You are going to get access to all of the, and you're still going to get access to all the modules, all the worksheets, and you're also going to get access to guest coaches. You're going to get other eyes on your content, other eyes on your consults. You're going to get other eyes understanding and having different approaches for DMs. People who I'm training this year are going to be taking over for those calls. And it's only 12 weeks that I'm going to be out. But instead of just being like, oh, I'm just going to do guest coaching, and you still only get 12 months, I'm going to give you 12 months with me. And then you get 3 extra months of coaching with these other awesome humans that I will be introducing later on. But you are still going to get access. And instead of it being something that you go through and you just get the 12 months just in general, your membership will be extended. So let me get the mathing for you guys. If you're thinking about this, it's March of 2026. Technically, if it was 12 months, you would get access to March of 2027. But because I'm going on maternity leave, not only are you going to get access through March of 2027, but you're going to get March, April, May, and then you'll get access all the way until June of 2027. You literally get 3 extra months for free. Well, not for free, included when you join. So it's like, there's literally never been a better time to join. And if you join in December, I'm obviously not going to be pregnant by then. Hopefully, Eva's going to be a healthy little nugget and she's going to be joining us in June. So for you guys, if we're thinking about you joining, there has never been a better time to join. And if you join after my maternity leave, those 3 months are gone. They're obviously, because I will not be on maternity leave anymore. So it's going to be awesome. The other thing is the money back bonus. So if you didn't know this, I'm doing a closing cart bonus that ends Sunday at midnight Eastern. After that happens, the automations go off for this bonus. So like I mentioned before, the Visibility Accelerator, it's only going for March. So this is the only time for you to get it. And I also am doing a money back bonus, which brings me to Kalisha. So Kalisha just joined 5-Figure Foundation 2 weeks ago. It's a little over 2 weeks ago, I think now, Kalisha. But within that, Kalisha has 2 kids. She's also working full-time and loves her job. She just wants to also coach on the side. And she has made a ton of progress in the past few weeks. And she's actually signed enough clients just in the first 2 weeks of the program for her to make all of her money back. And this is, again, like I said, Kira, mom of now 5 kids, also made her money back in 48 hours. And so I looked and I thought about, okay, who are all these people that are making their money back? What are they doing that's faster to get progress for everybody? And what I did is I decided to make a mini course. So anybody who signs up for 5-Figure Foundation, you get this awesome thing called the Money Back Mini Course that gives you 3 different strategies. Something to try on week 1 that you're in 5-figure foundation, week 2, and week 3. And if you do all of those things that are in there, you then evaluate on week 4. And then you're going to be able to not only, my goal is that you make your money back in those first 30 days, but those 3 plays that you get, you can use throughout the 15 months that you're in the program. So it's going to be so awesome for you. You can keep using them, keep bringing in more money. And my goal is that you 10x your investment. My goal is that what you invest $1,500 for makes you $15K at least. My goal is that you make $10K in 90 days, but I think it's going to be freaking awesome. Oh, Shelly. And so Shelly just said, I've worked with other business coaches and have been in other programs, and I've never been as supported and has eyes as deep on my business than I have with Megan. Oh, freaking love you guys. And again, you get to meet these awesome people when you join, and you get to collaborate with them during this visibility challenge. But I genuinely, that's my goal, is that anybody who joins this program, that you feel so supported, that you understand you've got, even if you can't make the calls, like one of the members just picked up a contracting job, and just as a contractor, she picked it up. And she's no longer able to make the calls, which is so unfortunate. But I'm still able to get my eyes on their businesses because we have a discussion stream. So you can post questions even if you can't make the calls. There are weekly calls from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. But like I mentioned, Tongi is also in 5-figure foundation, and he's also a teacher full time. So he can't make the calls. Kristen can't make the calls, or Julie is a pharmacist and she isn't able to make the calls either. And all these people who are so awesome that you're going to meet so soon, they are still able to get support even if you can't make the calls because we have a discussion stream. Okay. So it's going to be awesome. The other thing is, what if I have limited time and can't post it every day? That's totally fine. My goal actually is that you only post 3 times a week. If you want to, you could repurpose those 3 posts into reels if you want, but that's my only goal. So I don't think you need to post every day. That's my personal philosophy. I genuinely think if you want to think about the purpose of marketing, and which is why it's called 5-figure foundation, you've got to learn the foundation, the business fundamentals. You need to build know, like, and trust. You need to get people to know you, like you, and trust you in order for you guys to actually get results within your marketing, to get people to go from I'm seeing you posting to I like you enough to book a consult. And I recommend you only do those 3 posts a week. So those are the things that I help you build, and I help you build a weekly content calendar. I've got this pretty little Google spreadsheet, but you can do it pencil to paper if you want. But you are going to actually get my formula that's made me now 7 figures in 5 freaking years, which is so cool to say. But when you think about that, you definitely do not need to post every single day in general. Like even when you leave 5-figure foundation, I don't think you need to do that. And if you have limited time, we're going to talk about batching it. And one of the members, just so you know, like, again, I mentioned you don't have to be a coach. One of them runs an educational company and has a chronic illness. So there was a moment she just joined 5-figure foundation and ended up getting sick. And it was one of those things that she was like, man, this is unfortunate, not ideal. And she also has 2 little kids at home. So what happened is she had to be like, Megan, I can only post once a week. What is going to get the most use out of my time? And I talked to her about how testimonials are something that I recommend to my clients to do once a week. You'll get the most bang for your buck because you need 89% of people to see those to buy. So I was like, all right, we're going to work with the lifing. It happens, by the way. The people who are in 5-figure foundation, it's not like our lives are like hunky-dory and we've got these perfect things going on. I don't know if you recall, but last year I got married, also got pregnant, went through IVF, had to move. So these are businesses, well, not had to move, but got to move into this glorious new home. But within your business, life is going to life. These are real businesses made for real lives. It's not made for perfect, like picture perfect lives that nothing goes wrong. You're going to get sick. Your kids are going to get sick. Stuff is going to happen that's expected. Like you going on trips for vacation. And there's going to be a lot of unexpected stuff that's going to happen within this year. I guarantee it. And so instead of building a business that's built on this patty perfect version of our lives that's never going to be real, we actually build and pivot around the life that you're actually living. And that's one of the things I like about it is like, we are never going to have these perfect lives. I don't know anybody who has them. And so instead of trying to pivot and make your business something that is never going to be realistic or attainable, we build it for your real life. And for her, she was still able to sign 4 clients since the beginning of the year, in the first 2 months of the year, all because she was able to learn and see all these awesome things. 1 post a week, autoimmune flare, 2 kids at home dealing with, and I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a lot of snow days in the US right now. So the kids have been coming home, leaving, doing all this stuff. And she actually had to hire people to work for her so that they could deliver because her energy levels weren't where they needed to be. And we were able to figure all of that out in 5-Figure Foundation. And I would love to do the same for you. So if you've got limited time and don't want to post all the time, I don't want to live on social media either. And I got you. And then how quickly do people typically make their investment back? I would say, I want to be super clear with you. This varies, and there are 2 variables that change this. The first variable are your circumstances. Some people come in with thousands of followers. Other people come in with 53. Regardless of what your circumstance is, there are also people who come in and they might have already made money and are already posting on social media. There are people who have never posted a day in their life ever before. So when I say making your first or next 10K, that's what we do in 5-Figure Foundation is we get you to 10K, 5 figures. And within making your money back, it varies. So there are circumstances that vary, but the biggest thing that I think is the biggest differentiator is movement. I have had one of my clients, this is when I first started business coaching. She had never had social media at all. Never had social media. It took her 3 months to post and just to like get a post out there. Again, this is why I made this program 12 months. It used to be 5. And within this, she was still able to sign 3 clients and was able to make her money back in that 4th month. But it took her a little bit to post. So for you, it's a matter of how willing are you to get out there, take aggressive, messy action, and learn from it. It's trial and evaluate. So, and the thing that's stopping you from taking massive, messy action is the clarity of what the heck am I going to do, and your confidence and willingness to go through it and do it scared. And I coach you on both. I'm like, here's exactly what to post, and let me coach you on your mindset so that you feel extremely safe taking action even when you're scared, even when people aren't showing up, even when you don't get a single like on your post, how to build grit and resilience to move through. So how quickly do most people make their investment back? I would say my goal, again, with the money back bonus is that you make your money back in the first month. I would say most people make it back by month 3 for sure, but for sure by the time that you're done with the 12 months of the program, as long as you're showing up and taking action, people are making their money back, and I want you to join them. If someone signs 1 client, would that cover the cost of the program? It depends on your offer. So some people have an offer that's $1,500. Some people might have an offer that's less. Some people might have an offer that's way more. So it really depends, and we don't price your offer. I know people are like, charge your worth, and I think that's kind of BS, honestly. I think that your worth is never going to be determined by your offer, but we do need to price point based on your market. We need to be thinking about what would be a return on their investment that they would actually feel like is relevant, that would be a reasonable price for people to pay. And that's what we do, is we make sure that you price your offer at a point that's a no-brainer for people and build up your confidence to charge that. Another good question I get is like, I have people who are way ahead of, they're like, I've made way more than 10K. Why would I join 5-Figure Foundation? And I think a lot of the skepticism comes from the $1,500. It's honestly like, I think people are like, wait, hold on. I get a marketing calendar. I learn how to send strategic DMs. I learn how to close sales calls. I learned how to make my offer. I paid more than $1,500 for just one of those things in separate programs. Why is it priced like this? Like, this seems like a lot. And for me, I go with the philosophy of undercharging and over-delivering. And for me, I want to make this price point because I know that these are honestly the things that got me to six figures. If I think about it, even though it's a 5-figure foundation, there are more things that I teach in 6-figure scaling that are really appropriate for people who want to make 6 figures and things that will help you scale past 6 figures. But for me, these I want to make accessible. And when I first started my business, I was teaching full time. I was making $40K a year, and I was not able to invest a lot. If you're in a place where you're able to invest a lot, fantastic. But I didn't even have I didn't have a business credit card until 2022 or 2023. Like, I didn't even have a business credit card. I was literally putting this on my debit card. I had no money to invest in these programs. I couldn't spend money on ads. So for me, I knew that, but I also had this dream that I was going to be able to afford this amazing mortgage in this awesome home that we have. I wanted to be able to work from home when I had our beautiful little baby girl, or baby in general. And I knew that that's where I was going when I started my business back in 2020. So 5 years ago when I started my business, I knew that this is where I was going. I knew that this is what I wanted to create. And I also needed to learn these business fundamentals quickly. Like, I wish, this is a program I wish that I had back in 2020, and there was nothing like this, and there still isn't. That's why I made this, is I knew that there were all these things that I was buying. I bought so much. I went into strategic debt as a business owner, which you do need to invest a lot at the beginning. Think about it like you're starting a restaurant and you don't want to pay for chairs. You got to spend money in order to learn the things to make money. I get that. I understood that. But I wanted to make this a reasonable, affordable price point. So that's why I charge $1,500 instead of making it more. I don't think it's going to charge. I might change the price later on, but I don't think I want to raise it too high, because for me, I want it to be accessible even for the little teacher in North Carolina like I was. And so many more people, because I know that you guys are so capable, and I wanted to make it affordable for you. And the other cool thing about this is if you are like, I can pay $1,500 right now, done, go for it. And you get the 5-figure systems startup pack. It's another mini course that I have where you get DM templates that you customize. You're never going to get a script from me. For no matter what you do, you're never going to get a script. You're always going to customize it for your people. You're also going to get a content repurposing SOP where you learn how to take top performing content and just repurpose it instead of recreating the wheel. Then you also learn how to get a client tracker and actually track people and learn how long it takes for them to convert. So if you pay $1,500, you get this mini course. And if that's not available for you right now and you have to break it into payment plans, that is, I have payment plans as low as $167 for 12 different installments for this. So it ends up being $2,000, so you save $500 if you pay in full, but still not a crazy investment. That's definitely going to keep your profit margin healthy as a business owner, and that's important for you to do that. And I had another thought, but that's okay. Let me talk to you about the strategy. I was like, let me tell you more. And again, if you guys have questions, if you got other things that you want to add, feel free to comment it, DM me, let me know. And these are just things that I pulled up from like past consult calls that I've done, typical questions, and just to make sure that you guys know what you're getting. So for another thing that I get from a lot of people, I know that a lot of you guys might have bought programs before, and I love that. I think it's awesome. And I also know that you might have other key decision makers that are making this decision about this investment for you, whether that is a life partner, a husband, a wife, whoever it is. When you're thinking about investing in your business, I know that a lot of you guys are building these businesses to support your families, and I want you to make this decision in a very strategic way. And here, if you are missing any of these 4 things, even just one of them, I would very much highly recommend joining 5-Figure Foundation within this month so you can get my feedback quickly. You can start moving effectively so that you make money in the first quarter of this year. I do not want you to have to wait until summer to bring in a sale. I want you to make money right now in spring because these things are relevant, things you actually need to know to build a strong, sustainable, money-making business, okay? The first thing is, if you do not have an offer that is easy to explain, that gets people saying, oh my gosh, that sounds awesome, when can I start? Or something that like your kids and your partner can explain to other people without sounding weird, you need to join 5-Figure Foundation. You need to talk about your offer in a way that's compelling. You need to have what I call pillars for your offer so you actually explain what you do in a way that Sally on the street would understand. Instead of talking in really high level jargon, as an expert, as a service-based business owner, you are in your zone so deep. One of the people who joined 5-Figure Foundation, she had this psychological tool that she used that I genuinely still keep messing up. It's like Jungian philosophy or Jungian psychology, Jungian, something like that. I literally have never heard it before, but that was one of the things that she was using as a selling point for her offer. And of course people weren't buying because I didn't even know what that was. And I've been in the coaching space since 2018. Almost, 8 years. It's a long time. So it's like I've been a part of the coaching world. Actually, no, since 2017, almost a decade. I've been in the life coaching space. I have been so deep involved. I've listened to probably like well over 1,000 different podcasts, and I had never even heard of that. So it's like you want to make sure that this is really language that everybody understands so that you can get sales. I think the recommendation statistically is 3rd grade language. And if you don't have that by the end of March, you need that in order to actually make a sale in the next 30 days. That's what you absolutely need. So if you don't have an offer that is very easy to explain, that gets people saying, oh, either I knew that or I know somebody who does, join 5-Figure Foundation. It's $1,500 for now 15 months only for this launch because, again, in December when I launch again, it's going to be back to 12 months. But I get 3 months of extra maternity leave time over the summer with guest coaches. So for you guys, if you are thinking about getting support this year, make sure you join and I will help you to make that offer that is a no-brainer using what I call the 10K formula. It teaches you how to go through and make an offer that gets you at least to 10K, if not so much more than that. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing that you build as a strategy for 5-Figure Foundation is a social media strategy, okay? Posting like a crazy person, throwing spaghetti at the wall is not fun. I don't know anybody who enjoys doing that. Especially for me, I was chasing the trends. I would find the fun audios and I would even do like dances and stuff. It felt so cringy to me. And I think about like, I have heard this from some of my clients that are moms that are like, their kids are like, oh my God, you can't, like, you don't want to look at my mom's social media. It's a mess. Like, you don't want to be that person. And I also do fun stuff on social media. Like, there was like that hell yeah video. I love that. That was so fun. I do that occasionally, but I'm a professional. I want to make my social media feel professional. We still have fun as professionals. We still goof around, but I don't want my social media to just be trying to hack for likes and views, not only because that's how influencers grow, not experts with influence like you guys are, but they're doing it for a different purpose. Influencers are trying to gain the vanity metrics of a lot of followers, a lot of views, because that's how they get paid. They get paid by brands to market products. They are selling a product. If you are using influencer tactics to sell a service, you're going to do it wrong. It is inefficient and ineffective. In fact, someone who I think is joining this weekend, because we were talking about it, she has way more followers than I do. She has been posting all of the trends and is not getting any. She's, again, amazing, a fantastic entrepreneur, and has not gotten sales from social media. She's only getting sales from referrals right now because she literally is just chasing these trends. She doesn't know how to post effectively. So instead of you trying to do the neatest dances to try and get people to like you on the gram, we're going to build a strategic brand for a service-based business owner, not a influencer. And you're going to learn how to build know, like, and trust with those 3 posts a week, like I mentioned. And I'm going to teach you how to use words that help you build the algorithm that you want, not an algorithm that's haphazardly built with randos. What you're going to do is you're going to use the words that people are searching, and I teach you which words to use based on I need to plug in my phone evidently. But within this, you're going to go through and you're going to learn how to create these really awesome platforms of people who are actually trying to buy from you. So you want to make sure that you create that strategically and you're not just chasing the views on the gram. You want to make sure that you are actually trying to sell to people who want to buy from you. And then you're also going to go through, here we go. And you're also going to go through and batch. So what you learn to master marketing within 5-Figure Foundation, the fundamentals, the foundational level of marketing is you're going to learn how to do a content batching plan. You're going to batch out your content so you can schedule it and forget it. And that's one of the things that we do within 5-Figure Foundation. The third strategy that you need within 5-Figure Foundation is how to manage leads. Instead of sending creepy DMs, they're like, hey girl, how you doing? I'd love to talk to you. Like, think about that. It's kind of like those kind of boys that would be like, hey girl, you up kind of messages. You don't want to sell like that. You're a service-based professional. You are an expert. Don't sell like that. It's weird, right? And you also don't want to be the kind of person that is also going to be selling people that's like, hi, do you want to buy 10,000 followers? I know you're getting those messages because you've listed yourself as a business owner. It's creepy. It's weird. We don't love either of those things, right? So you learn how to manage leads, aka how to nurture your current audience and how to generate new leads within 5-Figure Foundation in a way that's authentic, that's genuine, that's not creepy, that is very direct, where we ask people, hey, talk to me about the problems that you're experiencing and I'll send you resources to help. I'm not just going to gatekeep. I'm going to support you before you buy from me. And then I'm also going to invite you to join a consult when it's appropriate, but usually after 11 touch points. There was a rule that Google came out with in 2024 that said you need 7 hours of content, 11 different touch points, and 4 different platforms for get people to buy. Now, you don't need 4 actual different platforms. They just need to see a variety of content. They need to see some videos. They need to see some posts. They need to see you talking to them in DMs. You can accomplish the 4 different platforms on a single platform like Instagram. But for you guys, and I would recommend everyone on 5-Figure Foundation, 1 platform, 1 social media platform. If you've got more, great. If not, please don't try and exhaust yourself across platforms. It's like you would make social media a full-time job. And I don't know anybody who wants to be like glued to their phone. It's just not fun. So what you're going to do is we are going to build a sustainable managing lead strategy that you can use in the carpool line, during nap time, and or during your lunch break at work that is actually effective using what I call my signature process within 5-Figure Foundation called the relationships to revenue routine. It's a very systematic and routine-based way that you actually glean productive conversations from people. You're not just like, what's your favorite color? Because then that's completely irrelevant. You're a service-based business owner. You want to actually talk to people about things that are relevant with the problems they're experiencing in order to present your service as a solution to solve them, right? And we do that in a really strategic way that is not creepy or salesy or weird. So those things that you're going to do. And then the 4th strategy within 5-Figure Foundation is you need to actually convert a sales call. No more are you going to do, and I would highly recommend this, do a free coaching call that baits and switches people. Don't love that, guys. We are service-based business owners. You want to actually be able to talk to somebody in a way that supports them and makes a healthy, clear decision. You don't want people coming on for a free coaching call and then you just hope and pray that these people get enough results on a free coaching call that they end up deciding to buy from you. You need a very strategic way to talk to them about what are the key obstacles they're experiencing, how you are a strategic solution for them, and how you are actually going to build them that return on their investment based on what they desire. You also will never, like I mentioned, you will never learn a sales script from me. You're never going to do the same sales call twice. You are going to get something that is customizable, that you speak to the in value that you provide for people. So you're actually going to speak to the value that somebody gets. You're never going to use a sales script. You're never going to be like, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to doing this today? Tell me what is your, you actually ask them questions that are related to their goals instead of sounding like a robot. These are people who have taken an hour out of their life to figure out a way to transform and get results and grow. You want to make sure you're creating safety for them to buy, and you want to make sure that you are actually talking about their specific problems. You don't want to just be following a sales script. You want to actually have something that's customizable for your offer that actually takes them from where they are then, where they want to go, and speaks to your process, not just where they are in every single aspect of life. You could get anything, and that would take forever. Also, it's not a good use of your time or their time to talk through every single aspect of their life. If I was doing general coaching and I didn't want to talk about finances, I would want to ask them about finances. As a general coach, I learned that I didn't want to talk about relationships. It came up as a part of the stress management piece of things, but it wasn't my forte to be a breakup coach. I didn't want to do that. So I'm not going to ask them about questions about their breakups if I don't want to be a breakup coach or whatever service you provide. You want to ask them very relevant problems that speak to the urgency of you solving them. And that's what we do in 5-Figure Foundation. I call it, my signature process within that program is called the Consultation Conversion Blueprint. It takes you through a very specific steps, but not a script. And then you go through those steps with the client. You also learn how to cover objections in a way that feels very organic and authentic, that actually, instead of you saying your price and then jumping off and just being like, oh God, sorry. It's like, my price is $1,500, bye. And just ask me a few questions. You actually learn how to have those conversations in a way that builds trust for them. And then you actually get people to say, instead of like, oh yeah, I need to think about it, that sounds interesting, you actually get people saying, wait, when can I start? I genuinely think I need this. Like, you guys might be feeling, my goal is that you feel this right now within this live. They're like, wait a second, I don't have enough followers. I do not have an offer that stops people in their tracks. My marketing is not it. I hate it. And I do not have anybody in my inbox. Clearly, I need one or all of these pieces that 5-Figure Foundation has to offer, and I need it now. I don't want to spend another week on social media throwing spaghetti at the wall. I do not want my income to go and stay at where it is. I want to grow. I want to make more money. I want to be the kind of mom that's able to go on a trip and be able to treat everyone to lunch. I want to be able to buy my kids that summer program. And if you join 5-Figure Foundation, the money that they would be spending for camps or things that your kids are going to, my goal is that you make that before summer hits. You make that investment back and you're able to start paying yourself and your family from the things that you're learning in this program. I think that it's so important to create a contribution. And that's what we do within this program, okay? So when you are in there, you learn how to make an offer that stops people in their tracks. You learn how to send non-creepy DMs. You learn how to actually get a social media strategy that works instead of feeling like a weird influencer that's not actually influencing. And you also learn how to close sales calls effectively. And those are the things that we do within that program. So if you've got a partner or somebody who is like, why is this going to be different? You paid for all these things. It's like, well, you get business fundamentals. I don't have business fundamentals. Yes, I paid for a certification. Sure, right? It's like, maybe you did. I don't know if you actually did pay for a certification. You don't even need to be certified to be a professional. However, if you did pay and invest in a certification, they are teaching the skill set of delivery. They're not teaching the skill set of entrepreneurship. And that's what I designed 5-Figure Foundation to be. I kind of think about it as like your bachelor's, that's $1,500. So a bit of a steal from that. You are going to get your bachelor's in running a solopreneurship business. And then I've designed the 6-Figure Scaling Mastermind to be like your master's in business. It's like your unofficial MBA. So these are the kind of things that if you've never learned how to run a business before, like me, I was a freaking elementary school teacher, right? I never learned, and by the way, I was pre-med before that. So I had absolutely zero. If you want me to tell you all about human anatomy and or child developmental reading levels, I got you. But when it came to social media strategy, I had nothing. I was also a fantastic coach. I knew that I was getting my clients insane results. I had gotten them a 40K pay raise, a 35K pay raise. People were ending their marriages and finding really good, fulfilling relationships. Other people were moving across the country and becoming Broadway stars. Like literally, these were the things that were happening for my general coaching clients. Because I know how to coach. I'm a good coach. And within that, I was just a terrible entrepreneur. And so in order for me to help even more people, I had to learn how to be a good entrepreneur. And that might be where you're stuck too. And you do not want the bottleneck of your business to be a lack of entrepreneurial skill set. You need to have at least a singular way that you are at least competent enough as an entrepreneur. And that's what we do in 5-Figure Foundation. Whew, I've been going for an hour now. Or if there are any questions, like I mentioned, please put them in the chat. Go ahead and if you want to email me, my personal email that I don't typically give out is meganwingcoaching@gmail.com, or you can email my team and we will get back to you to make sure you get in before these bonuses end on Sunday. Oh, and the other thing that's really cool. Okay, so for you guys, I love talking about creating work-life balance with your businesses. And even though I am mid-launch, my delivery is not going to skip a beat, even though I'm going out of town this weekend. I fly out tomorrow for friends. I'm going to Atlanta for Friday through Sunday in a launch because I have my back into my business so tight. I know exactly what to say. We already have the content that is ready and is going out. And my team is going to be handling all the questions, but I'm going to be answering questions today, and I'll probably answer throughout the trip. But I'm literally able to go on a trip in a launch. I already hit my goal for the launch, which is like freaking awesome. But within this, I want to answer your questions. So make sure you get them in as fast as you can, because I want to build the kind of business that revolves around my life, not my life revolving around my business. And I'm going to be a literal example. If that's what your desire is, I'm going to be an example of what's possible for you guys too. And I'm going to teach you how to do the same, especially if you join 6-Figure Scaling. That's more where I talk about launching, but it's pretty awesome. I kind of love it. Okay. Last but not least, let me talk about what it looks like. So the second that you join, if you join by Sunday, what's going to happen is you're going to get access to the portal. You're in the portal. There are videos, 4 of them, where you are going to learn the fundamentals of business in 5-Figure Foundation. Offer, marketing, managing leads, sales. Those 4. If you can master those, you're not just going to make 10K once, you're going to make 10K repeatedly. So that's what you do, is you're going to watch those videos. And I think it's less than 6 hours for the whole thing. I've had people binge it in a day, listen to it at 2 times the speed, and they're good to go. So that's what you're going to do first. Then there's a discussion stream where you can ask questions at any time and get feedback within a week. That is the second thing that you're going to do within 5-Figure Foundation. Then what's going to happen is you are going to make your offer, marketing calendar, have at least a 3 DM strategy, and learn how to do a sales call. And you're going to start implementing that. The first thing I have you do once you make your offer is I have you implement what's called a grid of 3, which makes your social media function like a website. You're going to do that first, and then you're going to get weekly posts out along with messaging people. But that's what's going to happen as far as the educational elements go. The discussion stream is where you will get the support and apply what you're actually doing along with our calls that are on Tuesdays. Again, if you can't make the Tuesday 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern calls, you can get that support elsewhere. And if you're feeling overwhelmed or don't know where to start, message in the stream and we'll get you a starting place. But I go over it very specifically in your onboarding video too. And again, like I mentioned, during my maternity leave, you guys get 15 months of extra support. And last but not least, if you're on the fence of joining 5 Figure Foundation and you want to sign your first or your next clients, why this will get you there faster is you need a really good offer to sign a client. If you have not signed a client, it's not typically your price point. It's the way that you're talking about it that makes people not feel safe to buy. So we are going to make that an undeniable good investment for them. You have to be posting or have some sort of presence for marketing somewhere in order to tell people that it's like thinking about like if you open up a brick and mortar and never turn around the open sign. You need to have a sign that says, hey, I'm open and I'm ready to take people. Then you need to have DMs, literally not just for the algorithm, but just so that you can actually build a relationship of people that want to buy from you. Maybe it's not right now, but it might be later. And then they could also refer you to clients. And last but not least, if you want to sign a client right now, in this month, in March, you have to have a good consult process. And I've seen so many people that either have no consult process or have an ineffective one, and we can get your consult conversion up way, way higher. So I am so excited for those of you that are thinking about joining. I would love to have you in 5 Figure Foundation. Make sure you message me your questions, and I can't wait to see you guys in the portal and in the stream and on our call on Tuesday so soon before those bonuses end on Sunday.